So next I added some artificial harmonies. I just use this harmony engine, if it will open up for me here. Here we go. And this is the Harmony Engine Evo by, who is this by? Oh yeah, Antares. So I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but this basically just breaks the vocal track into a bunch of harmonies. So there's a lower octave, a higher octave, and then a third and a fifth, and then you can pan them. So I have the higher octave all the way to the left, the fifth to the right, the third to the left, and then I have the lower octave to the right. And I took out all of the original tracks. So this is just a copy of the Vox Chorus main track, and this is what it sounds like. Doesn't sound great on its own, but something that I added at the end to kind of push the chorus a little bit more forward to make it sound more exciting. I'm waiting and calling, and I'll be outside. Alright, it doesn't sound great on its own, but with the track, it does. I just have a little bit of the reverb send on it, and I'll show you what it sounds like with the main track. I'm waiting and calling, and I'll be outside. I want you to know that I'll be just fine. So it really sounds good with those vocals. It's really buried in the background, so it's not sticking out too much. All right, next, to get my choruses sounding really huge, I usually have the singer sing the same thing and double his part twice. So I'll have 2 extra tracks of him singing the exact line of the main chorus melody. So I got these 2 tracks down here, and they're panned hard right and hard left. And I'll show you what I do with them. So I usually do the same thing with all my backups in the choruses. So I really want to emphasize the high end and remove all the low end. So what I do is I roll everything off to about 300. Here I did 330, so we're taking away all the low end in his voice. I did air boost, so I boosted around 10K to boost the breathiness and the air in his voice. And then I took out some around 2K so it didn't get in the way of the main vocal track. And then I added a low shelf here around 150 and took out some more low end. So here, I'll just put this one in the middle and show you before and after with this plugin. So I also tuned my backup tracks a lot harder, so they might sound more fake than the original track. I'm waiting, I'm calling, and I'll be outside. I want you to know that I'll be just fine. So all the low ends removed and the high end is boosted, so it's going to help out the main track. It's going to layer in with it really well. I think, was I compressing with this? Let me see. I'm waiting. Yeah, so I am compressing with a fast attack on this SSL. I'm waiting, I'm calling, and I'll be outside. And then I added this compressor after it. Again, same setting I had on the backup vocal track of the verse. So we have a pretty fast attack, a medium fast release. I'm waiting, I'm calling, and I'll be outside. And then we have the de-esser, same setting as the other tracks. I'm waiting, I'm calling, and I'll be outside. Next, I added the multiband. This is a little different than what we did with the other multibands on the vocals. So I do have that same band, compressing that a little, and then I also added another band to compress sort of the low mids of his voice. So it's really the higher end of his voice that's kind of sticking out and adding to the main chorus vocal.
I'm waiting, I'm calling, and I'll be outside. I want you to know that I'll be just fine.
And then lastly, I just have the L2 on there.
I'm waiting, I'm calling, and I'll be outside.
And then just the reverb send, giving it a tiny bit of reverb.
I'm waiting, I'm calling, and I'll be outside.
And then what I did was copy that setting to this other track, and I pan them hard left and hard right, and this is what they sound like.
I'm waiting, I'm calling, and I'll be outside. I want you to know that I'll be just fine.
So I'll just play the main vocal track, and then I'll add these in and show you how his voice just becomes a little larger than life once you add these in.
I'm waiting and calling, and I'll be outside. I want you to know that I'll be just fine.
And I thought that sounded really good. So I do have these two tracks. I'm not going to show you this John chorus left, John chorus right. So this is the bass player, and he basically just sang the same thing as Andy, and I did the same thing to make this chorus sound even bigger. I had him sing it twice just so there was another voice in the song, and pan them hard right and hard left. I EQ'd them the same as I did with Andy, so I took out all the low end. What the drummer and bassist wanted to do was add this kind of this long kind of singing part in it, just in the background, kind of a humming part. It's actually Oz. So what they did is, they don't have the best voices, but I thought it sounded pretty cool, so I had them sing the part, and I really tuned them up nicely, so they actually sound pretty decent. This is what they sound like. And then, to add a little more to that, I just made another harmony part. So I copied John's part, put it down here, and put the harmony engine on it. And I'll just add it in so you can hear what it's doing. So what I'll do is I will solo all the chorus tracks, and then what I'll do is I'll add these. First I'll just solo everything without these ahs in it.
I'm waiting and calling, and I'll be outside.
So it sounds really good. We got a lot of voices in it. Now let's hear it with the part that the drummer and bassist added.
I'm waiting and calling, and I'll be outside. I want you to know that I'll be just fine. I want you to be the one when it's all crashing down. I want you to see it all before it's all gone.
See how how the other voices when soloed are really powerful, but when all the music comes on, they're really not in the forefront, which is okay. You don't necessarily want it to sound like there's 10 voices singing at once, but it definitely adds some brightness. It adds some more depth to the singing part, and I thought it turned out really well. Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to download your free Ultimate Home Studio Mix Guide. I made this for you guys so you could start getting your mixes sounding better. There's a lot of great information in there, and be sure to reach out if you have any questions or if you need any help with your mixes. Thanks.